All right, we're back. I think. Hopefully, we'll see how long my internet lasts. Judd'z Budz, episode 129. The Gretzky plus any goalie episode. I'm pretty sure the only 30s in Wild history. They were all goalies. We got Wallstedt, Brizgalov, Rolison, and then I think there was one dude that played like 4 or 5 games. May have been a differently spelled Gustafson. So take your pick. As always, my good friend, Mr. Addison Hoppy, joining me. Hoppy, how are we doing? Not Hop are we doing?
It doesn't matter which. It's been a day. Long, bad, nothing good to say day. So now we're here where your internet is better than my day. So
that I'll tell you what. That is not good. That is not a good sign for us. Well, other than today, how's your week been?
It's been fine.
On Monday.
Yeah.
That's already shitting itself. Well,
What a day.
Where do we want to start this one today? I had the
We'll lead off with a fun one for you.
Up, and then I closed it. Okay, great.
Oh, this is gonna be a long one, man.
So frozen.
Holy crap.
Yeah, I mean, we might. I mean, I'm most likely not even going to make it through this. This is insane. Like, this is shockingly bad. This is the worst it's been in a very long time.
Yeah, you got to get this figured out. Holy
I'm back
shit.
now.
Well, for now, talk about the Taylor Swift appreciators at the last drop.
Oh, that was entertaining. Yeah, so we'll see if I even make it through this story. So the other day at the last drop, as I tend to be, really making a triumphant return lately, going way too often. I've been really good about not going as much, aka not going every day for a while. Back on my bullshit. But we are there. Obviously, day one of football was a Thursday, I guess. Chiefs, and the camera the feed finally goes to Taylor in the box, and one random dude just goes, boo, fuck her, oh, fucking get her off the TV. And when I tell you, I don't think most of the bar was even watching the game before that. At the same time, there was like 18 people like, oh, fuck off, shut the fuck up. And then that guy started getting booed, and the whole bar is booing the guy. And when I say it was ruthless, relentless, I think people were having to get held back from just like going after this guy. Eventually, he just closed his tab and left. He got booed, I think, for like 12 minutes straight before he eventually just gave up on that. So that's how I found out that the last drop stands strongly in solidarity with Taylor Swift, apparently, which is fascinating because no one here likes the Chiefs, obviously, but everyone loves Taylor.
There you go.
I think I got through most of that before the internet broke.
Yeah, more or less.
Yeah, it's so frozen.
So that stems into the first topic du jour. We've got, and I'll pull it up here. Let's see. We've got the new names and logos for the PWHL. Which
I'll let you start with it. I'll let you start. Because I saw this today, and I'll be honest, I started laughing.
Better than the first 6 that they tried to announce and then cowered away from a year ago. Not great. There's a couple funny ones, though, that we've got to get into right away. First one from Sarah Jenkins. This is pretty good. It's the same picture. The Toronto logo looks exactly like the Taylor Swift cheerleader uniform logo. Oh, you're not with me anymore at all. Hi.
I am gonna get so angry. Oh my god. Just kill me already.
Don't say that on air, please.
Whoops. You hate to see that. Oops, I thought the internet, of course, it turns back on right when I say that. The one thing I'm supposed to stop saying.
Yeah, it's bad when
This
that's like
is
your
so bad.
rule.
Like, it's not gonna get better. I'm gonna leave and come back. You know, just
Sure.
about these names and love.
All right. Anyone in the comments, let us know what you think
It won't
about the
even let me leave.
PWHL team names while Z tries to figure his shit out. We've got the inaugural 6
It won't even let me leave.
logos. Boston, Minnesota, Montreal, New York, Ottawa, Toronto. Not a single logo that I'm particularly a fan of. Boston's I like the logo. Doesn't really fit the team name, being the Boston Fleet. Minnesota absolutely dropped the ball. I think they know that, but this is, par for the course with the dismissal of Natalie Darwitz. She would have never allowed this to happen. And man, I don't think any of these team names are good. New York Sirens, Ottawa Charge, Montreal Victoire. I'm guessing that's victory. And Toronto Scepters. I'm just not on board with any of this. But Z, I think he's trying to rejoin. Here we go. We're going to try this. Can you hear me?
No, I'm literally restarting the computer. This is fucking. I can't. I can't even. It won't even let me X out.
All right. No Z. Moving forward. Mateo. I'm sure you saw the same post that I'm about to show here, but the Ottawa logo, double logo, looks like the Cavs and Flames logo in a shitty crossover. This is pretty good. Congratulations to the Cleveland Cavaliers and Calgary Flames on their new child from Julio. Pretty spot on, I would say. God, it's just not a good logo. None of these are shots at any of the individual teams either, because I don't like any of these. So can we start over again, please? A second mulligan for the PWHL logos. Everyone needs it. Man. Not seeing any opinions in the chat besides Mateo's, so I guess we'll move on from this topic altogether. And we'll see if Z ever returns. Actually, probably warrants discussion here. All of these teams had on Bauer, they had all of the different placeholder names. Let's go to that. And for the Minnesota in particular, the options were Minnesota Superior, Minnesota Frost, Minnesota Monarchs, and Minnesota Marmots. I don't see a winner here. I don't know if anyone has a different opinion. Wait, what? Sean Cosgrove, RIP James Earl Jones. That's no good. Sandlot, Star Trek. RIP in peace. JEJ. All right, Z is actually restarting his computer. We'll see how this goes. Isha's actually going to have to do some editing tonight. Sorry, Isha. All right, well, we're just going to stall until Z gets here. If he gets here. If he's not here in the next 5 minutes, we're probably just going to call the episode and re-record later. Let's get some more. Oh, hang on. He might be here. Let's find out. Well,
I want to whisper. I don't want the internet people to know that it's working right now, but it is working right now.
That's good. Progress.
I think so.
Well, we can move past most of the jersey stuff, but I will just pull back up here quick for you. Let's see. So we went over the Taylor Swift logo, but you were kind of maybe a little bit here for that. This one I figured would be your favorite to make fun of. The Calgary Flames, Cleveland Cavaliers love child.
I mean, it's just even the shape of the C. Even they split that right down the middle, and it just looks hilarious. It doesn't, I wouldn't have even looked at and been able to tell that it was the letter C. I wouldn't be able to guess. I would have no guesses if I had no context coming to this. Be like, hey, what is this? I would have been like, someone drew it, when they were shit-faced or 9.
I'll try and give them small benefit of the doubt. Do you think they were trying to make it look like it was almost an O for Ottawa?
Yeah. That's
I'm not saying it's a good idea, but that's at least justifying why it's not clearly a C. Also, so that no one would be able to pick up that it looks like the Cavaliers and Flames logos. Naturally.
Literally had a love shot. Yeah. I don't even like shitting on I don't want whoever made the logo. Don't want to shit on them. I just it's objectively funny. I would do a worse job, probably. I bet, maybe, most likely. So, I could say that about most things that people do. So, I don't know, but it wasn't even the logos that I was really laughing at earlier. Just came up. It was the names.
The names are bad
because Boston teased out. It was just a picture. I was very surprised in our little. And there goes the internet. Hell yeah, love that for me. I was very surprised how positive our little group chat was about the Minnesota Frost.
Very opposed.
It's the least possibly the least intimidating weather reference you could possibly go with. It's a little frosty out. It doesn't even make it's not even.
The mist?
I don't know. Be a blizzard or be nothing. I don't know. Yeah. Well, that would have been funnier.
Minnesota mist.
I don't know. I was shocked. Yeah, there you go. I was very surprised though at the seemingly quite positive reactions in our little group chat about the Frost.
I love how condescending you
are.
The
Boston one made me die laughing.
Dude, you always say the group chat, but because you're trying to condescend to everybody in the group chat right now, it's our little group chat.
I mean, it's a small group. It's a couple of people in there.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, Boston.
Maybe I am being condescending.
The options: Boston Blitz, Boston Emeralds, Boston Fleet, Boston Wicked.
And they went with Fleet. Like, and they tweeted a video out 9 hours ago. We are the Boston Fleet is the caption of the video. It is just funny. Like, and the way they teased it out the other day, like it was a picture of people in the crowd waving a Boston flag and then just a picture of water. Like, that was it. Like, that's how they teased it out. And we were supposed to be able, actually, the whole point, I guess, we wouldn't be able to guess it, but that's how they teased it. They were like, "Oh, can you guess?" And everyone was like, "No, like, obviously we can't fucking guess." What the fuck? Incredible. It's all crashing. Yeah, this is a disaster, an unmitigated disaster. You're very frozen though on a funny ass screen grab.
Nice.
Oh boy, this is not doable. Still, I can hear you fine now. It's just everything. This is crazy.
Yeah, we might have to call this.
I mean, oh, there, now you're unfrozen. This is,
Are you with us?
Technically. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know if you can hear me.
I can hear you.
Great. Oh, and there goes the internet again. This is great.
This would far and away, Horror Docs, be the shortest episode in the history of Judd'z Budz by landslides. I don't think it would ever be beaten.
It's like, again, every time I say this, you're like, you start yelling before I even finish a sentence. It is legitimately only StreamYard that's this bad. Like, it actually just crashes. And then, like, when I go to hit leave studio, I can't leave. Like, the internet's, like, the connection's so bad that I have to click it, like, 87 times.
All right, we'll just tell Isha that we got to get a new platform.
Yeah, just uphaul everything, you know. But it's atrocious. It's just bad. And of course, as I talk shit now, it's fine. But and there it goes. That's unbelievable timing. That is unbelievable timing. Just comes right back. 1 bar of internet. This is great.
This is some riveting stuff.
I mean, we can try to keep going. It'll be wild. Or not I could weird. You know, not weird, wild. Be very funny way to do it. You could just face the other way. I could FaceTime you and just hold your phone up to the camera and fucking do it that way. This is atrocious. I mean, I don't know. Whatever. The names are very funny. I laughed at all of them. Of course, Montreal had to be full on fucking Montreal and go, we're gonna be a little French. That was annoying as shit. But what else do we expect from Montreal hockey people? Nothing. That's what we expect. But we can move on. At least try to move on. Because I need to get your reaction to the Crosby news that dropped recently. Specifically, his quote made me laugh. He's very confident that there's a deal that will get up, and goes the internet, and we're frozen. I think that's great. Unfrozen. I do like that he was like, yeah, we're confident the deal gets done before the season starts. I don't have the exact date though. Oh, thanks, Sid. Really appreciate that one. Really good insight there. What do you think the money would be, though?
Less than he makes now if he wants to win. And if he doesn't care about winning, then they'll back up the truck. Like I have no idea. I'm in the camp that unless he really wants to stay here and like is adamant on retiring a Penguin, like I'm all for trading him. Let him go win. He owes Pittsburgh nothing. And they will not bring him a cup.
God, that would just look wrong.
I mean, Ray Bourque got a cup.
Just trying to think of like the funniest place he could end up.
Well, let's be real. There's only one place he can end up.
Yeah. Well, that's boring though.
It's very boring.
I don't want that.
It also sounds very unfun for the Wild.
Yeah, no, it'd be fucking. It is funny too, and who knows if we even get to this part of the show, but it's just like no matter what happens in the NHL, it's always like, oh fuck, this isn't good. This is gonna be miserable for Minnesota. Like fucking doesn't matter what happens. Somehow everyone goes to the fucking Central. Like there's either a trade or a rumor of a trade where a good player is going to the Central Division, and everyone's like, fuck, like that's not good. Like we're stuck in the middle again because that team's better now. Every fucking time.
Is it gonna become the Leafs bit where it's just like, how does this affect the Wild?
That's what I was gonna say because I was dying laughing when I just saw I like joined the stream and the title was "How Leon Draisaitl's Contract Impact Kirill Kaprizov," and then like there's already a couple comments in there like, "Nah, don't worry about it." And I was just dying. I was like, "This is we've turned ourselves into like, how does this affect the Wild?" And it's like anytime a player gets traded, even like there, I forget who it was last year. There was a very like okay player that got traded to, I think it was Colorado, because they did a bunch of moves or whatever. And they're like, oh, everyone's like, oh, great. Like, that's not good for the Wild. And I was like, buddy, the Wild aren't making the playoffs anyways. But I was like, that guy, that's what we're going to be upset about? I think it was like Middlestat. I was like, wait. That fucks us over forever? Like, what? And it was so funny.
Sure, but can we agree? Can we agree that the Draisaitl one actually does affect the Wild, and it's understandable that fans are maybe a little worried?
So I mean, I guess a little bit, but at the same time, like, if Kirill Kaprizov plays his whole career in Minnesota, like he was always going to already be getting the absolute bag, but not more than Leon Draisaitl or Connor McDavid. Like that's not happening because like Kirill Kaprizov is one of the best players in the league, absolutely. But I think it's a little bit of a reach to like put him on par with like Draisaitl or just obviously a whole other stratosphere. But like I mean, yeah, he's going to get a ton of money, but he was already going to if they're going to resign. So, what's it, next year, 2 years?
Sure, but does it go now from like 11 or 12 up to like somewhere in the 13s?
Yeah, I think that was always realistic, though, because like the cap's still going to be going up again anyways. And like,
but the new ceiling is
always going to become. Yeah, that's fair.
And I mean, guess what? Unless Kirill signs on July 1st, it's going to get set again by McDavid. Because
yeah, that's where my brain went.
Yeah,
that's where my brain went because I still haven't got myself into the like how does this affect the Wild mode yet, but like McDavid's about to get fucking. Well, as if he wasn't going to before, but once I saw the 14
on the new show that we won't get into the weeds, but I'm not a fan of the new direction, mostly because I wouldn't be a fan regardless because Jeff's gone. Freeman basically said like this deal does not get done unless he already knows that McDavid's going to sign, and basically like. It's not confirmed, but Friedman has said as much as the McDavid camp told the Oilers that they will not be demanding 20% of the cap, which is the limit for a player. And they're just like, thank you so much, but we would give it to you.
Yeah, no, they're like, are you sure? Like, thank you, I think, but like, are you sure? Because we kind of want to, though, at the same time. Like, if we could just ice you two, if that was possible, we would absolutely do that, and probably still win a couple games, anyways. But yeah, I figured Connor McDavid, like he did it last time. I figured he wouldn't demand the 20%. I feel like he would almost be. He is just always come across like seemingly like I feel like he'd be uncomfortable being like taking up 20% of the cap. Like not just because he wants to, he's like, I don't want people to think that about me. Like, all right, man, like whatever. Like there's probably never gonna be a player as good as you that ever plays hockey. That's what I really want. What he was like, he did them a favor, did not demand 20%. He only took 19.7% of the cap. So he's a hero. He is the greatest. He is the greatest Canadian of all time. It's basically charity because he took 19.7%. And guess what? If they gave him 20, he would have fucking earned every fucking penny of that 20% too. It like whatever he wants. Like imagine saying no. Imagine like we can't, man. If we give you as much money as you deserve, we won't be able to win. Like, whoa. Oh, okay.
Well, what if their argument was, all right, we'll give you the 20% minus the extra money that you made us give to Nurse. So like that's at least shaving 3 or 4 mil off, right?
I get.
Well, okay. From time of signing,
about 9. About 9.
Signing, he was only 3 mil over, probably. Now, probably more like 6, 7. It's not good, unfortunately. And they're about to give the bag to Evan Bouchard. So 4 players are going to pretty much be half their salary cap, which good for them. Most players are going to be willing to take deals to play there. So,
yeah, it's going to be very funny if they have like 4 guys making they're making fuck you money for NHL, relatively speaking, fuck you money.
It
and then
50,
only league
0.
wins. Oh yeah. And then the rest, everyone's on league. They have those guys, and then they have 15 37-year-olds making league minimum and a couple ELCs.
and Nuge on the Ek deal.
Fair.
God, that's a blessing.
Yeah.
He's also sitting back and he's like, what the fuck did I do?
Yeah. Yeah. I do love the idea of the Oilers just being like, yeah, all right. What like I in my head, it's funnier if they're just not being careful about it at all. They're like, yep, done, absolutely. And then when it comes to like sign anybody else, they're like, oh my God. Oh fuck. I was still mad at the Blues. I love that idea, but obviously, I mean, imagine they must have like 15 cap guys. Like the gymnastics they're gonna have to pull off for the next like 10 years is bananas. Like
they also have to trade every prospect that they get because they're all going to be offer sheeted now.
Yep. Especially if it's true that like now teams actually will throw around the offer sheets. We'll believe that when it actually happens. But again,
there's been a truce around the league. Just Edmonton.
Yeah, the whole league. There's like an email chain. The only guy not on it's Stan Bowman. It's fine. And everyone's like, yo, so like, fuck them, right? Yeah, absolutely. Fuck those guys.
And Ken Holland is the one that they have on for Edmonton. And Ken's like, yeah, fucking do it. Get him.
He's like, yeah, fuck that. Wait a minute. Whoops. Sure. Still thinks he's GM at the Oilers or the Red
You know
Wings.
what though? Let's be real though. The Oilers, like they literally let your boy Chiarelli give Koskinen that deal when like his job was done. They for sure have not like deactivated Ken Holland's Edmonton Oilers email. There's no way.
No. Definitely not. I will never forget that moment where it was like he's getting fired, but not before he made sure that fax made it to the league office where they did sign. That was at no point did anyone say they need to make sure they sign this guy to more than a year for, was it $4 million?
I think it was just short of that, yeah. But it was like a 2 or 3 year deal.
That guy, he found out he was getting fired and immediately boarded a private jet to fucking get to the league office. He must have given them the papers in person. He was so excited to sign that. He probably was laughing when it was like made official. He was like, all right, see you guys later.
You know that if Bill Guerin got wind that he was about to be fired, it would for sure be Marcus Johansson, 4x4, NMC.
Trade for Ryan Suter.
That would actually be hilarious.
And then sign another 4x4. Yeah, you get a 4x4. Give him like Oprah gives out iPads. But yeah, no, it has become like, how does this affect the Wild? So, and I just think it's very funny, but also, again, at the same time, very understandable. It's like, yeah, all right, I get it. But like, just from where I stand, it's amazing.
Well, let's go to a cool story, a positive one. Can you think of a better off-season headline than Macklin Celebrini will be bunking with Jumbo Joe Thornton?
And it was Smith living with Marlowe. Was that what I saw?
Yeah, that must have been added to the outline by Mateo because I didn't even see that one.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's what got added to the outline. I mean, Joe Thornton, did he win the Calder? No, he didn't win the Calder his rookie year, did he? I don't think he did. So. I can't remember though. It's just, but yeah, it rocks because Celebrini, given his like lineage, like very professional, like just has when you listen to him talk, he sounds like a pro. Obviously, he's been around pro athletes forever. And then Jumbo Joe's like, I just still hang out the lot. I just go to the rink so I can shower with the guys. I don't even shower at my own house. Like you're going to use the shower more than I do. And he's like, he is he is forever. They're the same age. Joe Thornton is permanently 18 years old. So it's very funny that like Celebrini's probably the mature one in their friendship now. And this is not a mentorship. This is just boys being boys, guys being dudes, just hanging out. So I love the fact that like the number 1 overall pick, very professional, clean cut kid, he's going to bunk it up with Joe Thornton, possibly a top 5 biggest goofball in NHL history. And again, still, I'm pretty sure I saw an actual quote where he's like, I still like showering with the guys like, after he retired.
Oh, man. Okay. Rank the 3. If Macklin Celebrini showed up for the first day of training camp and either 1 was tarps off, 2 had a full-grown man-ass wizard beard, 3 you see like Will Smith or someone in the first day like pop up 4 goals right away, and he's like, I'd have my cock out stroking it.
That's where I was going. The first game that Celebrini has like 2 goals in the first period, it's like, and
No,
guess
it's gotta be
color.
Smith. It's gotta be Smith. It's gotta be Smith.
Oh yeah, well he's be talking.
Joe wasn't talking about himself. He was talking about Hurdle.
Yeah.
Or even even better. Their first game against Vegas, Hurdle gets a hat trick, and Macklin Celebrini's like, "I'd have my cock out, stroking it." Anyone that doesn't know that reference is going to be like very, very caught off by that. But for the majority of you that do, you're welcome.
Yeah. I would just imagine that if you want to make it, well, either one, Smith or Celebrini has 2 goals in the first period. It's like, and guest color comment is Joe Thornton. Apparently, he just showed up and he jumps on the mic and he's like, Hey, it might happen. And people forget that it was I think it was 2018 or 2019 season. The Bruins were Sharks, and Joe Thornton did score a hat trick. I think it was one of his last. It might have been his last second period, and everyone was like, "Oh my god!" Like if he does it against the Bruins, everyone was like, "This is the most fitting possible opponent for Joe Thornton to do this at 700 years old." And it was very funny.
Very funny. Oh, man, it'd be great. But let's transition then into maybe just a little banter around the Calder contenders. Maybe next week we'll come in with actual like picks. But just looking at the odds right now, there are 5 players that they're clearly high on in Vegas. Can you name the 5? Who off the top of your dome? Who are the top 5?
Celebrini. Well, I think it's Michkov. I think I saw. Did I? Michkov, Celebrini, Stank.
There's 6.
Okay. Celebrini, Mitch. I don't know if I'm still here because you just.
Doesn't need to be in order.
Celebrini, Michkov, Gauthier. Did Lane Hudson end up in there?
He's number 6, and you got the top 3. You need 4 and 5.
Stankoven.
Yep, that was 4. 5 should be really easy.
By the way. Was it Askarov?
No, but you're close, and I'm actually shocked that you didn't get it.
Was it Wallstedt?
No. Oh, God, no. That'd be bad.
Yeah, that'd be something.
You've named 2 players from this team already.
Oh, Will Smith.
There we go.
Yeah, I think. I mean, my pick is absolutely Stankoven.
I'm sad at the number. I thought that he'd have a little bit better odds. He's 5-1. That's a bummer.
I mean, I will be hammering that.
Okay, but here's the odds as of today. 350 on Michkov, 450 on Celebrini, 500 on both Gauthier and Stankoven, 650 on Smith, 750 on Hudson. Usually in that kind of a group, you're going to see at least a little bit better odds on someone that's not in the top 2. But because coming in, I was like, oh, I'm going to hammer Stankoven. And I saw the 5-1. I'm like, I don't hate it. I just don't love it. It's not the Crosby 70-1 for the heart, you know?
Yeah, I thought that he would I mean, they're always going to lean towards the first overall pick or whatever, but yeah. I would have thought that Stankoven, I mean, he's played legit NHL games. He played in all of their playoff games and looked more than he was a big part of the team when he played. I think it was, what do you have, 15 regular season points, then another 8 or 9 in the playoffs, something like that. And they're going to be a good team. And he's going to score again. He's making that team out of camp for sure. He is going to be a big part of that team. And again, they're good.
Yeah.
He's gonna be given even more of a role than he had. Like he played, like I think his time on ice in the playoffs was higher than the regular season too. Like he's gonna be a prominent part, at least in their top 9. And like we saw how good he was. He's the only one with, I think, more than 10 games NHL, like more than 10 NHL games. So like I thought he would have been, like in my head, he was easily the favorite. But I know they're always going to go towards
Mishkov,
the number 1 overall pick. That one was crazy to me.
Really?
I don't think so. Matvei Michkov, the kid with defensive issues playing for fucking John Tortorella. Like, yeah, I don't like getting the team that they're not going to be like sick. Like,
so
he's going to get benched here and there.
Hang on. To be clear, if his coach wasn't John Tortorella, would you feel the same way?
Yeah, it's still going to be a big adjustment. He's an undersized winger that like is predicated pretty highly on just like elite offense, which is great, but it's still going to be an adjustment. Stankoven's a legit two-way forward that puts up like not the same level of offense, but incredible offense too. Played already in the NHL and looks like a fucking surefire NHL player, but also like legit contributor, big part of the Dallas Stars, who are going to be one of the best teams in the NHL. So like if that team's going to play, that's what's going to be interesting. The one thing that would go against Stankoven in that argument, I guess, would be like how much, if they are as good as they were last year or whatever, is he going to be in their like top 5 score? I don't know. But like, especially when you have guys like Wyatt Johnson there and everything like that. But I still think he's going to play I think he's going to very good. Like he's gonna have a great year. Mitchkov, like there's gonna be an adjustment period to start anyways. Plus, again, he's playing for John Tortorella. Like, so it's gonna be difficult. But was it Mitchkov that actually had the best odds?
Yeah. That doesn't surprise me though.
That's interesting. I don't know.
He's a year older. He's played pro hockey. Like we've seen Russians come from the KHL and have success. And it's a team that's like, don't get me wrong, like Philly's not a great team, but it's a better team than San Jose.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of where my head is at on it. Like if you put Celebrini on the Flyers, I'd be way more intrigued by Celebrini. It's just going to be a really tough year for a really bad team. And he's competing with Will Smith, which doesn't always really matter. But I mean, when's the last time we saw 2 guys from the same team? Has there been anyone since 2007? Because that's the last one I can remember where it was 2 guys on the same team.
Yeah, no, I can't think of one off the top of my head. But so yeah, and that's what's interesting too. It's like the Flyers aren't going to be as good if Michkov has a really good rookie season. He's going to be among their top, if not their top scorer. You know what I mean? Right. So that's where it comes into play too. I still like. I just look at like again. Stankoven's played legit NHL games, including playoff hockey, and produced. I would have had him as like if I was. I mean, not fucking not. Thank God I'm not doing it. But if I was making odds, again, in my head, the favorite would have been Stankoven. But it'll be interesting. It's fun. It's a very fun rookie class, though. Like they're studs, yeah. and
so let's talk the group after
with Celebrini and Smith too. Though, like Celebrini's game in general, I think just like lends itself to the NHL more so than like a guy like Will Smith. Anyway, like I think Celebrini, the fact that he's a center, I'm assuming they'll play him at center, and like his well-rounded game, the fact that there's an A and there's a B game, like he can play really solid defensive hockey as a forward, but he also has that like legit number 1 center offensive upside too. Like I think Will Smith will probably have a little bit more, or well, maybe even a lot more like adjustment to the NHL side of things. But I mean, he also does have that like ridiculous ceiling too, so it's always interesting.
Way better camp counseling too. But the next group, and we'll just go through people that are 40-1, because after that it gets dicier, which of course Jesper Wallstedt falls in that latter group. But The next 6. All right, so we got 6 and 6. We got starting at 24-1, Dustin Wolf. Then we go Maverick Bork, Eustace Anunin, Rutger McGroarty, Yaroslav Askarov, and Nikolai Kovalenko. Any of those names stand out to you as being like, I wouldn't mind sprinkling a little dart throw on this guy?
And I mean, just keeping with the Sharks, like the Askarov one's interesting to me because, like, again, like we've seen him play really well in the AHL. He's been around forever. Not forever, but you know what I mean. There's a legit chance that, like, a couple of games in, he's their starting goalie. And, like, he's good. Like, again, we know what he's him and Wallstedt. Those are the two guys. Dustin Wolf's also interesting because I think the Flames will be at least marginally better than the Sharks. I think they're not going to be great.
I'm actually not sure of that. I'm really unsure of the Flames this year for our preseason rankings. It's bad.
Yeah, I was like, because I mean the Sharks kept like bringing in at least like NHL caliber players. You know what I mean? Like, so that's where it gets interesting. And like Dustin Wolf's legit too. He's also been phenomenal for them in the AHL. So like the goalie crop is also like that could be its own like little talking point where it's like you've got guys like Astarov. Wallstedt's just gonna be there because it's like, but he's not gonna unless he is just lights out. Fleury and Gustafsson shit the bed like last year in the beginning, and then Wallstedt plays well enough where he's like, I guess that's our fucking starter now. That's his only path to like actually becoming like an actual like not favorite, but like in the running for the Calder or whatever. But even because the other one that's interesting, I'm assuming he's in the next group, would be a guy like Shilovs for Vancouver. I mean, we saw what he did in the playoffs. That's crazy to me.
If he is, he's very far down. Let me see if I can find him. No, dude, he doesn't even exist.
That's crazy because I mean, we saw him step in, and I'm pretty sure Demko's hurt to start the year. He's not. I don't think he's going to be healthy to start the year. And Shilovs, I don't think they signed anyone else.
Because I thought the same thing as you. I was very high on what Shilovs did. I thought it'd be an interesting one for like just a really high odds. Hey, if Demko doesn't come back soon enough, or if Shilovs takes over the role, like that'd be a fun one to ride out. But yeah, it's weird that he's not even on the list. But then you got guys like Demidov, Dvorsky, who like aren't even going to play this year.
Right. I mean, even there's a rookie goalie for Colorado too that might get some games too. I want to say that I've seen him at least in the mix to get games. And I mean, the goaltending in Colorado, you never know what the fuck you're gonna get with any of them. And like if a kid steps in and plays well right away, how do you say his name? God damn it. Something, it's like Olenin? Nah, whatever. But that kid probably is gonna make these. Yeah, yeah. Sorry, there it is. That was the one. Yeah, that was I was thinking of when the Kovalenko kid was the only Colorado player I was thinking of.
Gotcha.
But I still would have put like Shilov should be in that group with him because like again, I think he's got a legit chance because Demko is going to be hurt. I think to start the year, unless I'm like totally making that up. Like Shilov very well may be their starter out the gate.
And Ryan Leonard has the same odds as Jesper Wallstedt, if that tells you anything.
So,
all right.
So it's very likely.
We'll have to come up with our top picks then for next week, or maybe. Oh, here's what we should do, Z. Let's draft teams. We both get 3 forwards, 2 defensemen, and a goalie, and whoever gets like more Calder votes between all of our guys wins.
I like that.
And all right, next week draft done. For Mateo, if Ogren gets the second line right wing job, how do you like his odds? Irrelevant because he won't get it.
I don't think they can. I don't think they can take any of them out of I know everyone's like, oh, like guys like Ogre and Height have a chance. I'm like, how the fuck do they have a chance to make it? Like they literally don't have the money. There's
no money,
literally no money.
Shots. Yeah, it's unfortunate. And I have to give Cosgrove a big thank you, shout out. He saved my fantasy team potentially tonight. I had to play McCaffrey's backup, so Cosgrove doing God's work per usual. But yeah, all right, that does it for Calder talk. One thing I gotta bring up here, and this isn't to call out one specific podcast, but apparently there's a lot of people that I've noticed kind of talking this way, Z. On Judd's hockey show, Judd Zolgad, Jesse Pierce, and AJ, I forget his last name. Apologies. They keep on talking about the first pairing of the future, how Brock Faber has all of the defense to make up for all of Zeev Buium's defensive woes because he's an offensive machine. Can you please educate people on the fact that Zeev Buium can absolutely play defense?
Yeah, sure. I didn't know that was even
that blew my mind. That blew my mind that people think that he can't play defense just because he scores.
Yeah, and because he's not like 6'3". Yeah, I mean, again, so, and we've talked about this in general too, just with like, for whatever reason, whenever there's a defenseman who gets drafted really high and puts up legit offense, it's like an automatic assumption. It's like one of the first things, like, yeah, we'll see about the defense. It's like, well, every single player that is 17 fucking years old, like when you go to the play of the NHL, like it's gonna be a different level of defending, you know? Like, so every single player that's ever been drafted that plays defense is gonna have an adjustment to play.
Well,
like even the guys that step in and look like it's still gonna be a step up.
So when you look at a guy like Cale Makar, he can only be good at offense or good at defense. Which one is he good at?
Never. Cale, I never heard of. I don't know who.
Never met her.
Hardly know her. Yeah, no. I mean, you're like, I get offense, I guess, but no. He is more than capable.
I would actually, if I had to pick which one he's better at, it's defense, and that's crazy.
Really?
I think his defensive skills are so underrated. And that's not to say that it's like defense by a landslide, but dude, he does a pretty good job in his own end. And I love him too for the fact that he is like the one player who looks very unassuming and he looks small. And then you try and hit him and he literally does not move. Like he truck sticks you without even moving. It's awesome.
Yeah. He is a brick shithouse. Like, again, like you said, he's not big, he's not small, he's just there, you know. You can tell he's athletic, you know. He's in the NHL, playing a lot. Obviously, he's like he's an athletic guy. And then you try to hit him, and you want a young defenseman that loves a reverse hit. Cale Makar loves contact. The body craves contact. If you're Cale Makar, yeah, it's very fun. Yeah, body craves contact. There you go. Got it in there. But yeah, no, it's the same thing where it's just like, we'll see how they defend at the NHL level. It's like, yeah, every guy, you could say that about, okay, guys that light it up offensively. Yeah, we'll see if they can produce the off. Like, it's the same shit. It's the same fucking thing. These kids are 17. But listen, Zeev Buium's never going to be like, you're never going to look at him as like your elite number one shutdown, killing all the. But the big thing with him is he is absolutely not some like all offense defensive black hole. Like that's not him at all. He plays an incredible two-way game, and his offense, especially this year, just happened to like take 10 steps forward, and he was like putting up like 50 points in college hockey as a fucking 17-year-old freshman, which was nuts. But yeah, especially like with how good he skates, how well he skates against the like transition defense or against the rush, breaks up plays like that. He's very smart. He kills plays before they start. But even in zone, like, yeah, he's not going to be like, you're not going to be like relying on him to be out there for your whole like 2-minute penalty kill. But he more than holds his own defensively, and he's a good defender that just happens to have like potentially, I won't say elite offense at the NHL level. That's where I will step in and be like, okay, like, yeah, he put up crazy offense. I don't think he's going to be a guy that's putting up 60 points in the NHL. He's got this, like, that's his ceiling probably. Like, he can put up a lot of offense. He's gonna get points in the NHL, but you're also not like needing him. Like, he's not an offensive defenseman where it's like, hey, if he doesn't give us 50, 60, 70 points a year, what is he really doing on this team? No, he's an incredible two-way defenseman that's probably going to be able to give you 25, 26 minutes a night, and he's going to be able to give you 40, 50 points reliably. And there's going to be years he'll probably flirt with 60 or 70. But yeah, the idea that like Brock Faber is going to have to make up for his defensive woes is crazy, because that's not reality at all. So again, they are such a fun D pair to just like imagine and think about like moving forward, because especially they don't really have like, there's not one thing like, oh, that's going to be a problem, because we know Brock Faber is like an elite level defensive defenseman, but then this year we saw the offense like that we just did not see coming, putting up 40 points, playing in every game this year. And Zeev Buium, like, he's got the offensive potential. He's already a more than solid defender. So, like, the two of them together, it's just like, keep them out there for 35 minutes a night. It's fine. Like, there's just like no like big glaring weakness. It's great. So yeah, no, it's not like a Brock Faber's is gonna have to cover for Zeev. Like, that's not reality.
Good. That's what we need to hear. The people needed it. I'm gonna let you lead on this, even though you want me to lead on it. What do we think about the Kalen Addison PTO with the Ottawa Senators?
Sign him. I love, like, Kalen Addison's a good fucking hockey player, and he's a young D man. He's shown that he can produce offense when he like is. Yeah. I was legit shocked that San Jose wasn't even remotely interested. Like that. The kid is a good hockey player. He is an NHL defenseman. He has good offense. He can be on your second power play unit if you really don't want to like keep him out, like have him on your first. And like, yeah, the defensive side, there we go. Same conversation. Yeah, like, is his defending good enough to like warrant like playing 15, 20 minutes a night? Probably not. But at the same time, like, it's crazy to me that if someone's gonna be like, yeah, there's no place for him, there goes my internet. I'm just gonna keep talking, see how that goes. But good. Ottawa's just been going for these like massive fucking D-bed that are just like murderers. Plus, they blessed with like Jake Sanderson. Throw him out there for fuck's sake. God damn it! Like, sign him. I can't believe that he's on a PTO. What's he? 25?
No.
How old is he?
Dude, he's like 23.
I was gonna say that doesn't sound right.
Hang on, I gotta look it up now. 24. He just turned 24.
Still, like, for a defenseman, like, still young, and like, especially since
Middleton figured it out by the time he was 22. So
yeah, there you go. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, it's done. It's over. But dude, he's a good fucking hockey player. There's absolutely a spot for him in the NHL, so I hope he fucking makes that team. It's again like of all teams to be like, no thanks. The fact that San Jose was like, no, that's crazy.
Yep, it's tough.
Yeah, people. As Trav just said, Kalen had the luxury, parentheses sarcasm, of taking a lot of shit with Merrill. He did. He had to suffer through that bullshit.
It was tough.
And somehow, fucking Merrill's vibes got him through. He survived. It was like, yeah, he's terrible. We're gonna get rid of him.
Well, and again, not gonna say that the defensive side of the game for him was awesome. When people were complaining and saying that Kalen Addison was a black hole, I think he was their third best defender statistically. Like if you look at all the analytics, like he was not the problem on the pairings that he was playing on. Needs to improve. Completely agree. There's definitely areas of growth for him defensively. But when you can move the puck and see the ice the way he does, like give him a couple more chances. Don't give up on this kid.
Well, and again, like we saw what happened once he was, especially when they started like benching him and then scratching him and then literally just not having any. We saw what happened with this fucking power play where because when they actually let him play, throw him on the ice for the odd power play or two, like he was right. Like the first, 10, 15 games of the year, that the 1 year that he was fucking getting actual minutes, he was right at the top of the like rookie scoring. And like their power play wasn't at least was better than fucking 8%. Like he was an actual contributor to the team. Sheltered 0%. No sheltering for him. It was like, good luck, bro. Like these guys are just like on their last legs in the NHL. You can go play with them. We'll maybe use you on the power play if you can defend our fucking net by yourself. Go ahead, have fun. It is the case too, where it's like when he makes a really good offensive play, it's very flashy. When he has a defensive mishap, it looks fucking horrific. Totally get that. At the same time, it's just like you're at both ends of the spectrum with him at times.
Yeah. You heard it here first. If they actually sign him, I'll be a Sens sicko this year. Let's go. I also
hell yeah. It's
I like them.
It's so fun.
I like them as a dark horse bet this year. Like I think that they can be a playoff team. I really do. And that sounds crazy because every year people try and convince me, oh yeah, Sens are right there. They could make it. And I'm like, no, they can't. This year, I believe. With or without Kalen Addison. Whether I cheer for it to happen hinges entirely on Kalen's signing.
Yeah, oh yeah. There, well said. The Atlantic is just so weird now, where it's like,
who's the bad team?
Top to bottom. That's what I mean. And like Montreal's going to be bad because they're so young.
But are they going to be
in a
that
couple
bad?
of years? They're going to be they're not going to be good.
No, but are they the worst? Are they decidedly the worst?
I think so. And they have to play every team in their own division in however many games. So was it twice, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever the fuck it is. But so they're already up against it right there. But in a couple of years, the kids that are coming through, my God, am I going to be so sad and miserable? I'm so scared when Demidov is in full time in the NHL. I'm going to die. I didn't say the other one.
No, that's
the
different.
Other way with it. That was
well. Let's move on.
No, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Just kidding. But yeah, I do think that division they're so close. Top to bottom, is it off the top of my head the closest? Relatively, with
I'm
the
gonna
teams?
assume no. If you literally go first to last, probably not. I can find out right now. Hang on. Closer than the Metro. Oh, no, I think you're going to end up being right. Just because the very last team is pretty bad in the rest of them. Never mind. You're right.
Yeah.
It is the closest, but it's also like the closest throughout. Not the four that didn't make the playoffs. Rank them this year. Detroit Red Wings, Buffalo Sabres, Ottawa Senators, Montreal Canadiens. Yeah.
Ottawa. Buffalo, Detroit, Montreal.
See, I might even get frisky for our rankings, and I might flip Detroit and Montreal.
Yeah, you need those young kids to pop all the way off.
Or Patrick Laine to pop all the way off.
I keep forgetting that he's there too.
Or just Detroit to not be good, because I don't think they have that great of a roster. They're not a bad roster. Again, I think all four of these teams in a different division have a way different outlook. But the top four are the top four, and these four are all in a very similar spot. Montreal definitely younger and has the most to prove. But man, that's a scary bottom four group. That's crazy. But I'm with you. I think it's Ottawa, then Buffalo, which I say as I grit my teeth because I don't know if I can ever truly trust Buffalo. But
yeah,
I mean, on paper, it's there, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I just don't believe in the Yzer plan. I don't. I'm off.
No, I mean, you know, I've been on that train for like 2 years now.
You've been off that train.
Well, I'm picking up passenger. I'm creating a new train. This is a new train.
Oh, gotcha. All right,
big train guy.
That's bottom four of the Atlantic, brought to you by JuddzBudz. So last piece here, and we'll kind of transition quickly with a question from Cole, but we're going to talk prospects, but this will obviously tie in a little bit. Cole asks, 5 years from now, what are your projected D pairings? This is kind of fun.
Man, 5 years is...
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone's first pair is going to be Buium Faber. Yeah. The second pair is where it gets really interesting. And as much as I love this player, I think if he is your 3 or 4, you're probably not I think if Damon Hunt's on your second pair, that might be a bit of an issue.
It's not good. No, I got to take.
Well, my big question is, hey, is Carson Lambos going to be here in 5 years? That's
my question, right? Let's say he is. Let's say he is. I don't think you should put Zeev and Brock together. I think you put Brock and Lambos together.
Yeah, at that point, you have to flirt with. I mean, again, if you're talking 5 years out, there's a very good chance whoever's on your second pair, at least one of those guys isn't here right now. Either he's going to get drafted in the next 5 years, or is a guy that maybe you're trading for whatever. So the big question is Carson Lambos here in 5 years? Because I do think that's a legit question where, that kid is fucking so good. People are, whatever on the. I feel like they've also between Brock Faber getting traded for and then immediately going all the way off in his rookie year, drafting Zeev Buium at this point because it's a defenseman that takes a longer amount of time to get there. The love for Lambos is just kind of gone away to the point where people are like, oh, he's a bust. And it's okay, that's sure. Whatever, again. But whatever. When when you look at their pool in general, I do think even when you look at their defensemen, I still think there's the guys that you're most sure about, obviously Faber because he's there. Then Zeev Buium, after that, like every guy has a legit question of just how high in the lineup can you really project from there? And there's a ton of guys that I love. Like I love Lambos. I think he's absolutely a second pair D-man who you can rely on for legit defense, and he's got offensive upside that he might not be able to rely on the NHL level. And the other question Cole just threw in there is Brodin still here at that point? I would be shocked.
No,
how old is he now?
Old.
Right. Yeah, 36. Yeah. Well, that's not okay. That's not nice. I don't agree with that part, but that's fine.
Yeah, we can edit that out later. I think the one that's the most interesting, because it's pure boom bust, right? Like there's no way that this guy makes a ton of sense for a third pairing, but you could see a world where Aaron Kiviharyu's in that top 4, right? If things shake out right. And it's hard to know because there's some players that are pretty versatile and can play either side, but with him and Lambos and Buium all being on the left side or being left-handed, do you feel like it's kind of either Kiviharyu or Lambos isn't here? Or both?
I don't know. Because I've seen, Lambos has played both sides, obviously like predominantly on the left, but he's been able to play on either side as well. But and that's where it gets interesting too, where it's like you look at, they've got some legit high ceiling D prospects. All but like 1 or 2 of them are on the left side. And the guys that can play on the right is Lambos, who, he's done it forever, but like obviously way more on the left. Then you've got like Ryan O'Rourke, who like in the OHL predominantly played on the right side. That's a problem if he's your number 4, probably. Damon Hunt, probably a problem. But, well, I think he could be a fine enough for, but at that point, you're definitely like balancing those top 2 D pairs. Again, there's a very good chance that whoever's on your second.
Advocate of balancing the top 2 pairs. Like, I've seen it work so well in other places when you have the personnel to do it. Like, obviously, the Wild will never have this level of personnel, but you go back to the 07 Cup champs, if you can roll out 2 top D pairs the way that the Anaheim Ducks did en route to that Stanley Cup, you can't beat that. And it's like, oh, why don't they play Pronger and Niedermeyer together? Well, because they can literally swap for each other and both play the entire game because they're maniacs. Like, that's a good spot to be in. So, like, people need to get okay with the idea of Brock and Zeev not playing together. That's really why I bring it up.
Yeah. Right. And at the same time, too, like, it's fun. Like, nothing says that, like, at no point, if they're not starting, like, if the D pairs aren't at the start of a game, if they're not together in the lineup sheet, like, there's no rule that says they're not allowed to be on the ice at the same time ever. Like, that's not a thing. So, like, that's the other thing too, where it's like, oh, we're just not going to play them together. Like, well, like, other than when you want to. I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
See, there are still fans that are upset that Huznadinov will not be playing with Kaprizov this year, which is like insane.
I think there can't be that many of those people. But
no, there's a lot. There's a lot.
Yeah, whatever. It's not even worth jumping into. All right, let me try to actually. If we're going off, that's where I'm going. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, I just got to ask you about one in particular.
Okay, good.
Is Kyle Masters part of that group of 6? We'll say 7. Is he part of the group of 7?
If you think I wasn't gonna figure out a way to throw him in there, you're out of your mind.
You haven't mentioned him yet, so I didn't know.
Yeah, so if you want to even out, so
let's list for everybody in order the ones that fell into our prospect rankings. Which, if you haven't listened to, you should definitely go back, either podcast form or YouTube. It's all there. But in order, our top defensemen for the current Wild prospect pool. 1 is Zeev Buium, 2, Damon Hunt, 3, Carson Lambos. And again, these are all cumulative from all of our input. 6 people. Sound the Foghorn, RIP in peace, and the Sota Pod. Number 4, Aaron Kiviharju. Number 5, David Russo Spacek. Number 6, Jack Peart. Number 7, Ryan Healy. Number 8, Kyle Masters. Number 9, Sebastian Sawinni. Number 10, Ryan O'Rourke. 11, Kalen Parker. 12, Aaron Pionk. 13, Stevie Isha Jerome Lescavar. And last place, Nate Benoit. One of the two. Don't know, don't care. And yes, we're going to assume that we're working with people currently here, because otherwise I don't know how you could project who we might trade for or draft in the future.
Right. I want to get a little bit. I want to go off the map. Well, not really off the map, I guess. I'm going to try this one on for size, so I can just say it out loud. I don't think this is kind of just like fun in my head.
Mm-hmm.
Kiviharju, Faber, top pair.
Like it.
Buium, Lambo, second pair.
Love it.
Damon Hunt, Kyle Masters, third pair.
Okay.
Which is complete chaos, because in my head, it's very funny thinking about a D pair of 2022 WHL Damon Hunt with Kamloops Blazers Kyle Masters on the same pair. It's just fucking, they're murdering everybody. They're F1 and F2 on the forecheck, and like F-6. Like one of them is just there all the time, and neither one of them stops moving. I actually, and because we mentioned it with Lambos about the, will they be, I think there actually probably is even a bigger question as Damon Hunt here in 5 years.
I was just going to say, that's my one correction, is I think he's gone because he doesn't get the opportunity he wants, and he goes elsewhere where he gets the chance. Yeah,
and I think outside of he can play in the NHL right now. Like he looked like he was more than comfortable in the NHL. And again, every time we talk, I have to admit, it is impressive his ability to completely change the way that he played forever in the WHL immediately into pro hockey. Like it is like, I've explained it ad nauseum. Even that doesn't do it justice. I don't think people understand how fucking chaotic he was as a defenseman in the WHL. It was very fun, very effective. And again, him and Matejchuk is one of the best D pairs in junior hockey I've ever seen in my life. And it was just an absolute electric factory, start to finish. But like, it couldn't be. You want to talk about like, I don't know if this guy's going to play defense in the NHL. He basically was only in the offensive zone. And then if he was in his own end, he was like killing people. that was pretty much it. Because they were that good, he didn't have to play a ton of defense in the first place. But him and Matejchuk, they had the puck the whole fucking game. But all that to say, like how quickly he adjusted to play like legit pro hockey is incredibly impressive. He probably should be playing in the NHL right now, or at least because like when you look at the Wild right now, like he doesn't even, I don't think he has a shot in hell of making the team out of camp unless they're literally going to, I think he is on like the lowest salary they possibly can have him on. Is he just be sitting in the press box? And like when you watch him play in the AHL, again, it's for fucking Iowa, who stunk. And it's just, I can't think of a worse environment for like young defensemen, which is all they had last year. Young goalies, they only had, it's crazy. Like I think he could be playing, he should be at least like on a team where like he could be competing for a legit spot this upcoming season. So in 5 years, it's probably more just as likely that he's not here as like a guy like Lambos. So that's the big question right there too.
So I'll take a spin on exact. I liked your top 4 a lot. That's exactly where my head was at. If I have to change something, let's say Lambos isn't still around, which I'm not a supporter of. I love Carson Lambos. What if we're not talking enough about my boy Declan Chisholm? What if he's the guy that ends up playing with Zeev Buium on that second pair? Third pair, way too early to make any kind of declaration, but Sebastian Sawinny could be real fun on that third pair if he pans out correctly. And I'm trying to think who the other guy would be to fit with him, because I don't think Hunt stays. I think that he can get a better opportunity elsewhere, and I think he'll pursue that. So the real question is who plays with him on that third pairing, and I could see it being either your boy, Kyle Masters, or, this is tough because they're all right-handed defensemen. God damn it. But Kalen Parker's a guy that could round out into a pretty interesting third pairing defenseman too.
Mm-hmm.
And again, we're talking 5 years out. Not 2, not 3, 5.
Yeah,
hard to say.
And that's when a guy like Jack Peart comes in too. You have to start thinking about a guy like him.
Do you think he profiles
also
well?
Ryan O'Rourke. So I that's the thing too. You also have a guy like Ryan O'Rourke who profiles pretty strong as like a bottom pair defensive defenseman that can just eat minutes, play all the minutes that you do not want any of your like guys with like legit offensive upside to have to play. He's going to kill a ton of penalties. So like,
O'Rourke,
that's when you wonder about O'Rourke. But then we have to also throw in the mix spot check, everyone's favorite, because that's a guy with some legit offensive upside. He's got size. He can play mean. His skating confuses the shit out of me, but like sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not good. It's fascinating. He's a science project of a human being and hockey player. And like if there's a guy, when you look at like, there's a bunch of guys that profiled either as like a 4 or a bottom pair guy. Someone like Spotcheck, he's got the NHL lineage. He plays a pretty projectable bottom pair offensive role where it's like, if you pair him with a defensive D-man, like that could be a real nice fit. Like, again, a guy like him with O'Rourke, it's interesting. This is where it gets fascinating with their prospects, because so many of those D-men have like legit ceilings. Big time question about how realistic is it that they hit that ceiling versus like they've got like a high floor. And then it's like, okay, how are we balance that out? I still think one of those guys isn't here yet. That's the thing. Either they haven't been drafted yet, or it's a guy that could be traded for. That's the 5-year question's hard.
Right. And a lot of these guys still won't be here, like that are currently in the pool. But I think a 5, 6, 7 in no particular order, but just some shuffle of Spacek, Sawinny, and O'Rourke could make a ton of sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Sawinny, again, I've said this before, I'm very fascinated in his development arc. I do worry
come January, I might change my mind.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Again, I said this before, like I'm going to be tracking Sawinny very closely this year. It's crazy. I've got 3 dudes in Finnish hockey to track this year. Finally, no one in Sweden for the Minnesota.
Well, let's talk about it. Let's talk about the 3 Finns that have started their professional play.
Yeah, so Kivi Harju has like he played in he had a bunch of preseason games. Their season starts tomorrow. I think actually he might play tomorrow. Where is it? Yeah, the 10th. That's when Liga starts. But both Rasmus Kumpalainen and Sebastian Suwinny have played their first, of this year, their first official pro games with their respective clubs in Finland. They played in the Champions Hockey League. Dude, Kumpalainen looks so fucking good. They've played him primarily at right in their middle six in the wing. He has been used pretty defensively. The first game, they got the shit kicked out of him, 5-0. He had his guy. I think he's only dash one. But he was pretty much out there for every fucking PK for a minute and a half. But he just looks like his game. And the big question will be, he looks really good playing in Finland, where it's he's got some high-end skill that a lot of players over there either have but don't have the opportunity to really utilize because it's Liga, or don't have. His hands are insane, and he looks it's so fun to watch him over there. And it's a very much slower game than the North American game, just because it's getting through the neutral zones an absolute war, which is probably why he's so good in transition playing the CHL. But he did end up getting his first point for the senior team because he played Pelicans junior team growing up. But he had his first point in their second game, a 5-4 shootout win. Again, he played right around 13 minutes time on ice in both games, but playing on the wing, legit leaned on heavily for the defensive side. He's looked so good. He's so fun to watch. But the big question is going to be is he very projectable playing in Liga versus is he going to be able to move well enough? And is that really going to translate well in the NHL? Who knows? We don't have to really worry about that right now, obviously. But the fact of playing pro hockey in Finland, I actually like that more than the OHL, to be honest with you. But he's looked really good in those two games. Poor Suwinny has been on Ilvesh's third pair. Get it? I mean, they are just getting. They have been under siege every time, and it's sad. But he played two games. Again, I think he played 12 and 13 minutes on their third pair. Pretty much all defense. Blocked a couple shots. Again, he's a 6'2" right shot defenseman who's a really good skater. And it's just the decision making at times is a big question mark for him. It's why he didn't make the U18 Worlds team for Finland. Even though he probably should have. He has a chance to make the World Juniors team this year. But he's just, again, every time you watch him play, there'll be 3 or 4 shifts in a row where the tools come out to play. You can see him how well he moves, the breakout, the first pass is good. And then sometimes in his own end, he'll make a good defensive play. Then 2 seconds later, he is just wildly out of position. He's going and chasing something that's not there. So you have to that's the thing that's going to be a big hurdle. Is just I still think it's there at times. It's so inconsistent, but the fact that he's a big right shot D-man who skates as well as he does is incredibly intriguing to me. I still think there's some more offense in there because he's got a decent enough shot too, but he's rarely in a position to use it. So, but either way, it's good to see them both get a couple regular season game. Well, I guess not regular season. It's literally Champions Hockey League, so it's different. But both their seasons start tomorrow and then Wednesday. Same with Kivi Harju. But yeah, no hockey. We have prospects playing real games. That's all that matters, baby.
It's a start. That's a start.
It is something that is happening. So I don't know. And then I gotta see, because I mean, it's so fucking tough to get any actual news out of the KHL. I want to see if Yurov's actually close to coming back because he was hurt to start the year, so he's missed their first couple games. Oh, and then one of the guys you always roll your eyes at when I have to mention, Matvei Guskov. Still, I think this is his last year. After this year, if they don't sign him, they'll get rid of his rights. I still like him as a prospect. I still think he's a good player. And he's played North American hockey. He played for London. So he's played a couple games for UFA. They're 2-0. They look good. very fun. He turned into like an absolute pest defensive center after like literally starting the first 6 or 7 games a couple years ago and like being a point per game guy. Got hurt, and then he came back, and they're like, "You're going to be on our fourth line. You're going to only kill penalties. Whatever you want to do other than that, it's up to you." And he was like, "All right, I guess I'll just block every shot, fight people," and that's pretty much what he's doing for UFA now. So,
okay, we got to talk about this one, Z, from
in case I
Mateo.
was wondering about Matt Vaguskov.
Everyone's wondering about Matt Vaguskov. But we've got Ryder Ritchie scoring in his first preseason game with McKenna and Weisblatt. Is he going to play with McKenna all year? Because that'd be fun.
Okay. I don't know, but the thing, so I need, so
no,
Weisblatt, his brother. Oh, did I cut out again? Because that's not.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the line that's gonna be on all year, but I need you to. So like, Ozzy Weisblatt is the brother of this Weisblatt. Take a guess at what his first name is.
Is it at all?
You're not. I mean,
related
I don't
to
even know
Ozzy?
why I'm telling you. It's a couple of the same letters.
Zigzag.
It's Oasis with a Z, and he is a fucking lunatic. That guy loves fighting people. He is like he is like not the biggest dude in the world. Every fucking game, he goes up to the biggest player of the other team and just tries to fight them. I think he's fought fucking oh my god, Yakimchuk like 6 times. like every time they played Calgary, he was like, "Let's fucking go, we're fighting." So it's a very funny trio: Ryder Ritchie, Gavin McKenna, and Oasis Weisblatt. Because like Weisblatt's gonna be like, "All right, yeah, no, I'll play this top 6, sure. I'll clear room." But yeah, I'm not surprised. Of course, Ryder Ritchie scored. That team's gonna be so fun to watch. Oh my god. That top 6. Oh.
We love it.
There you go. Mateo said, I think Weisblatt got kicked out from the game. Same thing, yeah. He rocks, dude.
Eligible? Is he draft eligible?
He's draft +3, I think.
Okay, so he's just not. Got
it. He's a beauty, though.
That would be all name team consideration for Mateo.
Yeah. I think it's OASIZ. Oasis. Hell yeah.
Dude, let it work with breezes. You know that one? Yeah, here we go.
God damn it. You know, that's one that I've had in my brain. I'd be like, that one won't come up on Silly Me.
Oh, I've got all the deep cuts.
For making that assumption. That's crazy.
That if you go back to like
but I mean, hey, we technically made it.
When I was in high school and you were either early high school or middle school, and Dane Cook Vicious Circle came out, I am not joking when I say I pretty much had the entire set memorized. I thought it was so funny. A beanie. We're not talking bacon and eggs, folks.
Yeah, now he's just
talking about breaking and entering. No, my favorite one that I've said a couple of times and realized immediately that no one would get it was my father's a brilliant man.
Nope. Now the internet's failing. It's a good time to do it.
Didn't come through?
Hell yeah. Totally frozen.
Too bad. Nope. Oh, I'm not going to yell it again, but it was a screaming, my father's a brilliant man.
I was like, who shit on the coats? Who shit on the coats?
Oh, and then no, his best
I hope
one.
I hope it wasn't my coat.
Right. Non-stand-up. Best Dane Cook is I can't remember what it's called, but there's a movie where basically like a girl dates him, he gets them to break up with him, and then they like get married right away. Yeah, good luck, Chuck. He takes this super religious girl to a pizza place that is like sacrilegious. Like it's incredible. Like you walk in and it's like cross-shaped pizzas, and like they come up and they've got like he has a punch card and he's like, yes, 20% off to those who eat here religiously, and it just keeps on going and going with the religion puns, and the best. I want to find this pizza place. I wish it actually existed.
Yeah, that was
no, it's called Jesus Crust.
In that movie.
Jesus Crust.
Oh, yeah. No, good luck, Chuck. What a movie. Now, no one here likes Dane Cook anymore. So,
see, I stand on the other side. Sure, he steals jokes. He delivers them better than the people that originally gave them. I want the better performance, personally.
Yeah, no. Everyone here is like, oh no, he's just like he's a dick. But like,
I don't have to interact with him.
Yeah, no, it was one. I wish I know it was. I wish I could remember what event it was, but there was this big like, and this was years ago, so it's probably wasn't even real. Probably didn't happen, but this is probably a big lie. And I've just been holding this over Dane Cook's head forever. There's like some big charity or whatever, and there's like comedians and like bands that came and like played for free.
Mm-hmm.
And like he wouldn't do it. He was like, free, no. And just like it was like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that for free. Everyone was like, what? Like everybody is. And he was like, no, I would never do a free show. And it was like, oh, okay. Shit, it is for charity. He's like, I don't care. Like, oh, okay. Holy fuck. Jesus Christ.
Fuck them kids.
Yeah, but pretend that it probably didn't happen. I'm probably making it up. There's probably a rumor years ago.
Yeah, maybe.
Remember how fucking like he was the peak of how famous like a comedian can get in his like it was like what 4 or 5 years. It was like it's Dane Cook, and then like
it was him and Daniel Tosh were like right in line with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was pre Tosh 0.0, which was a disaster.
That's still funny. It's still funny.
I hate it. But he does rule.
I think whenever he speaks, I'm gonna laugh because he is fucking ridiculous. Mm-hmm. And love him. As we both know this. Great podcast.
He rocks. Yeah. Podcast is unhinged in mostly good ways. Oh man. All right, we did it. We did the thing, and internet was only an issue for the first
somehow 30 minutes.
And then it's a problem now.
It was a problem the whole time for me.
From a production standpoint, it was only for the first 30 minutes.
Oh, that was bad.
Oh, we're gonna end it.
I don't know. I can't literally. Your face hasn't moved on my screen for like a minute and a half.
I also haven't moved a lot, but
I don't even know if I'm here.
Oh.
You've been doing this. Has been your face the whole time for a minute, possibly 2 minutes.
Yeah, I can't see your face. You haven't moved at all. This is a problem.
Yeah, no, I saw that.